Hey everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comedian and host of Bachelor Recap, a guy's review. Happy Tuesday morning to all of you. I got a video I need to make this morning. It involves Bachelor producers and their willingness to air false accusations about a contestant on her first night. Of course, we're talking about Brittany Galvin, a model from Chicago, 23 years young, and she goes on the show and immediately Anna and apparently Kaylee, although I think Anna was the one who really perpetuated these rumors, basically, accused her of being an escort, which is, of course, somebody who, could be exchanging sex for money or the girlfriend experience or dinner dates. It's really kind of like a term that includes different types of sex working. So we're going to get into the sex working stigma, the shame, a ton of comments from you guys, because every single person I've talked to thinks that this is complete garbage, that ABC, America's broadcasting company, owned by Disney, Mickey Mouse, put a stamp of approval on the show, Chris Harrison, Mike Fleiss, all these people, all these old rich men, profiting off of a false accusation about a day one, first episode network TV show premiere of Brittany Galvin. Now, a lot of people only believe information when they first hear it. They've been talking about these rumors through promotions for weeks, if not months, and it's very reckless in my opinion, so let's talk about it. I'm going to talk about Brittany and how this could affect her. Chris Harrison being the friendliest of mob bosses. He does it all with a smile as he just cashes his checks, spitting them into that, ATM deposit box, making money off of these young 20-somethings, albeit potentially reckless behavior, although in this case, completely innocent, shows up all of a sudden, who knows where these rumors came from. So read your comments, and then we'll talk about a defamation lawsuit. People are wondering, could Brittany potentially sue Anna for spreading the lies, or more importantly, Bachelor for giving a platform for them? Remember, this wasn't live TV, okay? They could have easily prevented this. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps YouTube share this with others, because I think this is an important thing to talk about. I think we might have jumped the shark as far as what we're going to allow Bachelor to do with our homes. And I know people say, oh, you don't like it, turn it off. It's one of those things. I think they should be held accountable with their sponsors. I'm not saying we should be boycotting Bachelor, but it's a conversation we should be having. People in the comments have talked about the hypocrisy of men that are on The Bachelorette, where if there's an allegation against them, whether it be sexual assault or what have you, they say boo about it. They don't mention it at all. They don't do a PSA after. They don't have a round chat discussion with the therapist. None of that. They light it on fire and they walk out. It's like they took a dump in the nation's bathroom and didn't light a candle or go crack the window open. That's exactly what they did. So let's go through a couple of your comments you left on my recap video, but I really wanted a dedicated video for this topic because it's too important not to be talking about the sex shaming of workers, but also we have to defend sex workers because this was a false allegation, innocent till proven guilty, but at the same time, if you want to be an escort, if you want to be a sex worker, that should be your right. We'll talk about that a little bit. I'm actually going to read a passage from the Bible too, because I think it's important. A lot of people say, well, the Bible says don't, I don't know why I always sound like I'm some, redneck hillbilly, but the point is we hide our morality behind the Bible sometimes. And I don't think that's right either. I think, it's 2021. We need to progress a little bit and give people their basic human rights as long as they're not hurting others. That's important, right? We don't want to be casting a large wake. So Alexander said, in Germany, there's actually a law against destroying someone's reputation like Anna did with Brittany. Hope that's how her name's spelled. It is not. Free Brittany. Effectively, as far as I know, if things are proven to be false, have no claim and are big, such as putting rumored and sex working on national TV. So yeah, definitely these contestants sign away their rights to basically the truth. They sign it away. The problem is the contestants need better legal representation to get them fair contracts. To say, we'll let you adjust the show, but you have to do it in good faith so that you're not damaging my client for future potential earnings and this and that. I mean, when is the day going to come where The Bachelor or a similar show like this is so reckless that they do what they did last night and a contestant does something that we can't, that we can't turn back on, kills himself, hurts himself. Do you know what I mean? This has happened in other countries. This has happened in other countries where contestants have couldn't recover from the image that was destroyed by the TV show. Which again, big industry, Big lawyers. They just get away with it. National TV. All right. Red Barn said it's super gross that they put the rumor in the show. Absolutely. Didn't have to air it. A Sophie said, thank you. I've been saying this about Chris Harrison for years. Everyone loves Chris H so much when he's literally the face of drama along with the producers. Yeah, a face of drama that doesn't age. Get me his facialist, please. It's more than a facial. Pulled it back, cranked it up, smile. I wonder how he sleeps at night because he has probably caused so much stress and anxiety to so many people. I bet you he sleeps on his nice MyPillow with his nice memory foam mattress. I bet he sleeps great, which is the problem. I bet he sleeps very great. He moved to Texas, so now he's like, you know what, California? Bring your girls in. I know this happened in Pennsylvania, but he's like, bring your girls in. Let's start a show that's going to make me rich, and let's move to a state where we don't have to pay income tax. Love you, Chris H. Love you, Lauren Zima. You picked a winner. But boy, I mean, he is a cool guy. We like him. That's the problem. We like Chris H. But he's also a part of this. He's the face of this show. BL Pacheco said, I completely agree. This was a horrible move from Bachelor producers and production. I've been a fan for over 18 years, and this is making me sick. I really want to stop watching. My heart hurt for the 5 new girls and these rumors. The problem is like you want to stop watching, but not many people will. So I think Bachelor needs to take a stand and actually have a redaction and really address this in ways that covers the damage that they so recklessly did. They knew when they were starting these rumors that people were going to piece together who it was all about. They just do enough work to give you the info to figure it out for yourself. It's some real QAnon BS that they do. It's like, oh, here, figure this out. We're going to cover ourselves legally and not tell you what it's all about. But hey, you put the pieces together. Don't trust Americans to put the pieces together. Okay? We don't have the ability to critically think. We're just overcoming brainwashing. And now, okay, I digress. 56 said this season's going too far. At some point, they should kick people out for calling people slur, of course, which is slut and whore. That's what Victoria said. She called someone a slur on the show. Yeah, at what point are we? I mean, we're showing the worst in women right now, and that I would say is an attack on feminism, because instead of the women that are lifting each other up, they're choosing to show the worst. Okay, and the worst exists in all society. If you get a bachelorette full of all Chads, you're going to hate men. You're going to hate everyone named Chad. There's probably a nice Chad out there hanging out with a nice Karen going, hey, we got a bad rub. You know what I mean? All right. Alexa, how are you? Said, I'm truly disturbed on how these girls are acting. Thank goodness for Katie. By the way, Alexa, subscribe to Dave Neal on YouTube. Sorry if I just ruined 1,000 people's Alexa devices. Yeah. Thank goodness for Katie. What would we do without Katie? The voice of reason. She's the only one out there being like, hey, maybe we shouldn't attack someone who's not here. Hey, maybe we shouldn't attack someone whose dad's dying. Hey, maybe we should, you know what I mean? It's like one after another. We just never thought the voice of reason was going to come from the sex toy girl. But hey, we'll take it. Good vibrations. Alexis said, I've never been so disgusted with ABC and The Bachelor as I have been this episode. It's one thing for the girls, especially Victoria and Anna, spread that garbage. It's a completely different thing for a massive company to edit and lies, promote lies, and profit off of those lies. They shouldn't have shown any of this for Brittany's sake. By all means, guys, don't get this twisted. I work in entertainment. I know how post-production works. Don't get this twisted. This copy of the show went by lots of people. It went by legal. It went by creative. It went by all these different people. They watched it and they go, I think we can get away saying that. Yeah, I think this fits within the legal boundaries. Notice I said there was no moral people that went through. And if it did, maybe they were taking the day off. Maybe they're quarantining still. Because what the heck, guys? You know what I mean? And I guarantee you this. Watch people associated with Bachelor. I'm challenging Nick Viall. I'm challenging Ben Higgins. I'm challenging Rachel Lindsay's pretty good about speaking truth to these sorts of allegations. But watch Bachelor Nation not bite the hand that feeds, not accuse Chris Harrison. Watch them place the blame on Anna. Watch them place the blame on the contestants, but not bite the hand that feeds. That's why I like to stay independent. You know what I mean? Hilla Katz said, I just hope Brittany is okay. She did nothing wrong regardless of whether or not the rumors are true. Anna knowingly ruined this girl's life by saying that on camera, and it's unacceptable. There's no defending that behavior. Yeah, even if it's true, Brittany would have to have a conversation, you know what I mean, with her future partner. Like if Brittany's going to want to date Matt James, she might have to say, hey, I work in sex work, or I do X, Y, and Z. If it were true, it's not. Okay? So it's not shaming sex workers. It's saying that you should have a conversation with someone if there is an expectation of monogamy, if there's an expectation of something. If you have an OnlyFans account and you start dating a guy, you might want to say, hey, I have an OnlyFans account. Let's talk about it. Let's open the channel to communication. Let's not hide these things in the dark, which is part of the destigmatizing of sex work, because we need to get away from the terms like prostitute, which is an illegal thing. So we call people these illegal terms and say, you are this, henceforth that's illegal, so you're illegal. when in fact it should just be, it should be governed in a way that, there's regulations. We can check up on it and make sure things are okay. Obviously, sex trafficking is bad, but sex work, unfortunately, is still conflated with sex trafficking. We'll get into it a little bit more after I get through these comments. Dawn said that was a serious accusation Anna made. That should never have aired. Disgusting. Ms. Liz, you're definitely not taking this too far. Because I was like, am I doing this too far? Am I crazy? I like to workshop these things through the live stream, guys, to be like, am I irrational about this? Or are we just not angry enough? Because I want to have fun. I'm a comic. I want to have fun. All right. I want to always walk in the room and have it better energy when I leave. I want to add a little bit to this conversation. But right now, I'm just mad. I'm mad for a lot of reasons. And I don't think much will be done about it. I really don't. You're definitely not taking this too far. Thank you for bringing this up. Sex work is important work. Should not be stigmatized. And I feel like we're in the 1950s with this show sometimes. ABC needs to feel the fire and defend themselves. Defend yourself, ABC. You have people, I say ABC, Bachelor, defend yourself because you have a bunch of angry people that can critically think, that can understand who got a raw deal. But then you've got the passive people that are doing the dishes while they watch the show. They go, oh, was she that sex worker? You know what I mean? Reckless. This is interesting. I wanted to look up voyeurism because this is where we're all guilty. A lot of people want to quote the Bible. Voyeurism is a sexual sin. Jesus said, I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. When we view others, not our spouse, with a sexual intent, seeking to satisfy our flesh, that is wrong. When we're faced with the choice of satisfying a lustful impulse, we should instead choose to put on the Lord Jesus Christ. I like to include a biblical quote because we have a pretty good, Christian following in the U.S. and that watches the show. So we're all okay sitting on our couch watching someone get destroyed, but we're the voyeurs. Now, sure, they chose to be on the show, but they didn't choose to be objectified. They did come into it with good faith. You may call it naive, but a 20-something woman shouldn't be naive enough to think that a network's going to operate in good faith, because when they're casting them, they're all cheery. When they're casting, oh, you're going to be great. Oh, they're going to love you, Victoria. Here's a tiara. Oh, keep going with it. They love it. They love it. Then all of a sudden, she's left with a raw deal. All of her past comes back to haunt her because everyone hates her, and then it's an angry mob. We're voyeuristic. So if we're going to be voyeuristic, at least we can have good faith that we're watching a program that's not just destroying people. Let somebody say stupid stuff. Let somebody act stupid. Let them have fun. We have fun with the bloopers. We have fun with all the fun, but we are addicted. If it bleeds, it leads. If the soul crushes, it's just sex works. Let's talk about it. How great is this, huh? No bad women, just bad laws. Safety for sex workers. Isn't that great? Sex work is work. F your white savior complex, rights not rescue, which is a big problem that we think we're saving people. And again, I'm talking about this because on one hand, we have to defend Brittany, and on the other hand, we have to say, but if you're doing sex work, that's okay too. We're not saying, oh my gosh, that would be horrible if she did that. No, two different scenarios that we have to address. Here's where it gets interesting, and I want to be careful with this next slide. I think Anna should be able to do whatever jobs she wants. But if she's going to sit in the lifeguard tower and tell everybody else where they're drowning, I think it's important to note that she's literally been in the same gray area. So Anna said, well, I've heard that Brittany, hangs out with all these rich men. So X, Y, and Z, escort, this and that. Here was a bottle service girl, which would be fine if you're doing it if you're happy to do that job and you're not hurting anyone else, it would be fine. So here's this meme I saw this. Anna says she's entertaining men for money. And then also Anna like, woo, bottle service girls. It's interesting. Let me close this bullet and bring up, because this is very fascinating stuff. So I'd love to hear your take on this. I don't know too much about bottle service girls. To be completely honest, I don't make enough money to have ever even come close to wanting to get bottle service in the first place. The only time I ever got bottle service was when I was in Mexico City, and I thought my dollar would go far there, and I accidentally, with 3 other friends, ended up spending $1,200 on a bottle of whiskey, and that was when I was 20 years old, and I did not have the money, and I was like, if we don't spend this money, the Mexican cartels are going to be after us. So anyway, that's a side story there. But so yeah, we got to free Brittany. We got to rise Brittany up. We got to hear some truth. I mean, I know she's probably got a gag order really when they do these shows. They're not allowed to speak negativity towards the background of everything. But even if she was an escort, she needs no explanation. But the fact that this has been levied against her, I think it's important for us to really consider the fact that she doesn't have somebody speaking for her. She doesn't have someone championing for her because it's a beast versus her. It's David versus Goliath. You know what I mean? So let me go into this here. Very interesting defamation stuff we'll talk about, and then we'll get into the bottle service. So hold on to the bottle service. People said, well, will Brittany be able to sue Anna? Not that she will, but would she be able to, or would she be able to sue the show? So defamation of character is a catch-all term for any statement that hurts someone's reputation. And of course, people go on this show. They have to get jobs after this. They have to be Googled. So any sort of false information that's shared on a show like this is just time-stamped proof that someone can use against you. You know, of course, we go back to Tayshia's ex. This was mentioned in my live stream. Tayshia's ex was upset that whenever anyone Googled his company's name, it showed that he cheated on Tayshia. But the fact is, he did that. So he can't sue her for libel. He can just be upset. He can't sue her for defamation because he cheated. It happened. The facts happened. He has to live with it. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes different. You have to prove that. You have to almost prove your innocence in this case, which isn't how it should be. What does the victim need to prove to establish defamation? The law of defamation varies from state to state, but there are some general accepted rules. So you have to prove this. The defamation has to be published. So that was published on last night's episode, week 4 of The Bachelor, season 25. It has to be false, injurious, and unprivileged. So is it false? She would have to prove that it's not true. She would have to look at these rumors, prove that it's not true. And honestly, I don't know this is where I would love a lawyer to speak with, but I wonder if the initial rumor someone's liable for the initial rumor, or Anna for being the one who says it on the show. Because then can Anna defend and go, well, I thought it was true. Can you plead ignorance? I don't think ignorance is you can plead ignorance in the court of law. So published means a third party has to hear it. Of course, moving on through that, millions of people saw it. A defamatory statement must be false. Otherwise, by the way, excuse me if I get some of these words wrong. I took one business law course in college. I understand this is better than Victoria's degree in integrative nutrition, which she says she got at NYU. I Googled it. NYU doesn't offer this program. It's more like a side course for influencers. So anyway, I digress. But the more you look into Victoria, the more you realize, the boat of her morality was made out of Swiss cheese. I just made that up. Is that good? Leave a comment. Let me know. Wow. I didn't get much sleep last night, but we need to do the Lord's work here. And I don't say that as if I'm not guilty of my own sort of moral issues. We're all just pieces of shit trying to figure life out. You know what I mean? But the fact that Anna threw the first javelin there should really say something. Finally, to qualify as a defamatory statement, the offending statement must be unprivileged. Under some circumstances, you cannot sue someone for defamation, even if they make a statement that can be proved false. For example, witnesses who testify falsely in court or at a deposition can't be sued. So you wonder what they're covered under. Obviously, there's nothing related to the court here, Public officials and figures have more to prove. Interesting. People who aren't elected but are still public figures because they are influential or famous, like movie stars, also have to prove that defamatory statements were made with actual malice in most cases. So that's the question. Was this made with malice? Well, we know Anna is competing against Brittany. Obviously, Anna, I don't have the exact quote, but Anna literally said to the camera, oh, I might have to leak this if she doesn't, step in line or whatever. So she's weaponizing. Anna was weaponizing the fact that Brittany had rumors about her, and she shared those with the public. Hey, rumors exist. It sucks. Rumors exist. You just have to be careful when you're going to air that out in the public eye on such a large platform. Because, I heard a rumor about so-and-so. Gossiping's never great. It's not good for your morals. It's not good for your energy level. It doesn't make Anna look any more beautiful, to deal with that gossip. Let's jump over here to bottle service. So bottle service is interesting because as we saw, I got to open this up here. As we saw, 1 second, folks. This is Rachel Yucatel, who, if the name sounds familiar, Rachel Yucatel was the mistress who cheated with Tiger Woods. And it was a big deal. She was a bottle service girl. A lot of these bottle service girls, if you read these articles, this is actually 10 years ago. So they said the gray market for sex. Very interesting stuff. People say, oh, Rachel, she's such, I got to be careful what I read here. I can't swear. But anyway, if your job as a hostess or VIP at clubs, you can be a mistress and also a procuress, which is a pimp. You know what I mean? probably pronounced that wrong. She denies that her job was about sex, saying, I'm really offended at the notion that I used my sexuality. It's not our job to get anybody laid. But if you read into some of these articles about bottle service girls, a lot of what they're paid to do is be half stripper, half pimp. And guys, these are their terms that they use. If you look into it, they're paid a lot of money to get cute girls from the dance floor up into these VIP suites and just leave them with, a lot of the times, sleazeballs or money-hungry guys, real powerful men with a lot of money. And their job's to be to booty grab, get their butts slapped, kind of lap dance these guys. That's what they're paid to do, whether it's implied or not. And if you're doing that under your own consent, I think that's okay. I think that's okay to have that job. The problem, and the reason I'm mentioning it, is not for moral reasons with bottle service girls. It's the fact, let me go back to the other slide, that this is something that, Anna was doing. So how can you be a problem with a sex worker when you're gray area sex worker? And maybe you just put on the nice outfit and carry the bottle out, fine. But dare you, take the moral high ground over Brittany? You know what I mean? Hashtag free Brittany. Look, I don't know what else too much I can say about that other than I'm not shaming whatsoever. Don't get it twisted in the comment section. That's not what this is about. This is about hypocrisy in its finest. So let me switch back over here, and then sex work in the Bible. End with a little sex work in the Bible. There's a problem. A lot of times we hide behind this moral high ground with the Bible and and all this. And the problem is a lot of people think they're helping sex workers. And I'm mentioning this not to attach it to Brittany, but because if there's any sex workers out there or people that have family or friends that are sex workers, it's important to destigmatize it from something that's illegal and going to send them to hell and this and that. As long as you're not hurting others, you let people do what they want with their body in a safe environment. This is why countries that have legalized these types of things can actually monitor it better in a safe way. So seeing all sex workers as victims may be a response that flows from compassion, but it may be the most dangerous response. When people see sex workers as victims, they begin to suggest ways to rescue them. This is the problem with Christianity. We're so busy trying to rescue others. They need to operate from the 12-step program where you promote from within. Oh, you're looking good, Steve. What's going on? Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you, I've been sober for 8 months. Oh, great. That's awesome. Come on in. You know what I mean? Versus this sort of missionary. Let's go over the world and spread Christianity and save people that otherwise didn't need saving. Am I right, pagans? And this isn't a knock on Christians. This is a knock on the idea that we need to save others. You know how many times people have commented on my videos being like, I'm going to pray for you, Dave. I'm like, okay, good. Please pray for me. I believe in the power of prayer, positive energy, all that jazz. Absolutely. So the opposite happens in real life. Arrest leads to a record, and a record leads to limited job opportunities. Closing a strip club leads to unemployment. Unemployment leads individuals to trading sex online. They're just going to find another place to do it. Same thing with abortion. Arresting individuals who pay for sex changes the demographics of the purchasers. Only people who are not afraid of the law purchase sex. It's kind of like how, the privilege of white people not getting stopped and frisked in New York City. Well, does that mean that black people have more drugs on them? Oh yeah, go down to Wall Street and tell me that each one of those finance bros doesn't have a fistful of Adderall. They probably bought it off Victoria. Anyway, so the church, we need to work on how we educate people on all this. That's what it comes down to, folks. How do we educate people on destigmatizing sex? I think it's good to talk about it. I think this is a positive response to an otherwise reckless thing that the Bachelor community, that the Bachelor producers did. And my question to them is, what are we going to do to ameliorate the situation? What are we going to do to talk to Brittany? Really get her side of the story, really clear her name in a way. I wonder if you can put the cat back in the bag, and I wonder what we're going to do to stop you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and more videos to come. Hit the subscribe button, like it, and leave a comment below. Take care, guys. Thanks for listening.